kind of challenging from playing myself. So it'll be definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, sitting and waiting is not a fun feeling. Me and Lama are both on the same team. Season 4 of BLS. We know the feeling all too well. We're gonna get away here. I'll let you take over on the play-by-play.
All right. Well, it was immediately an early chance from Caboose, and another one coming up, and he's gonna bury it. No one back. Bonekin with just a great pass right over War Turtle, and MJ Caboose with an honestly very challenging shot from that angle. Just sneaks it in past the post. We're only 16 seconds into this game, and Honest Cosby's already up 1-0.
Yeah, War Turtle's got to realise that he's the last man, and he's got to buy time for his teammates rather than diving for that channel, because that's the most important thing when you're last man, is biding time for your teammates. If you don't do that, you're going to leave an open net, and you're going to go 1-0 down like they have here. Yeah,
and I mean, we're immediately seeing continued pressure from Honest Cosbys as Bonekin goes for the double touch. Can't quite get it, but that was really pretty close, and Andy shuts down the clear from War Turtle, and this is more of what we were talking about last one, with just relentless, very high pressure. And
Cosby's looking really up for this one. As all the pressure has literally been in the blue half. War Turtle gets out here.
He finally gets it down to the other end, and oh my gosh.
It's just like the last game that we were watching, where one team had all the pressure, and as soon as the other team breaks, in this case, Honest Cosbys, they break after having to defend. So what's it called?
NAFTA was break on the defense, yeah.
NAFTA break after being in defense for so long, and they just score instantly. That just shows to show how important both sides of the fields are. You can score goals, but if you concede them like that.
Yeah, and I mean, just like we saw in the last game as well, as soon as the other team scores, they're now putting on a ton of pressure, as Silent Hawks going to get a great touch over all the defenders, assisted by Liquid Sight from a great touch there to just set his teammate up perfectly, and that goes over 1, 2, 3 defenders and into the back of the net.
And that's there's a poor defensive clear from the Honest Cosbys there, and again, I'll highlight Liquid Sight. He did his job. He was there to put the ball back in, set it up for War Turtle to get the goal.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a total reversal, as Liquid Sight's getting a touch and Andy's putting it back along the wall here. It's a total reversal from the first, 15 seconds, 15, 30 seconds when Honest Cosbys came out with that huge fast goal. And, the next minute it's 2-1 the other way. Super crazy action here as Bonekin gets it clear along the wall and looks to follow it. Liquid Sight's been bumped. Silent Hawk, backflip touch along the wall, but not there to follow it, so Bonekin puts it back into the middle, but there's no one there to be on the end of that pass. MJ Caboose now trying to take it across, misses his touch, and Liquid Sight gets a huge clear. Andy and Bonekin both up for that one, but cannot quite be punished. MJ Caboose is there for another long clear. So even now in the last game of the season, regular season I suppose, for these teams, it's still a bit of miscommunication coming out. So they'll have to work on that. Looking forward to the playoffs.
Both teams are rotating really well, though. The pace of this game is notably fast, and for both teams to have the communication in order to rotate quickly and develop after such a short time, these fast rotations is really impressive.
Yeah, and I was hanging out with the Honest Cosbys. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, and just sitting in their lobby with them while they were scrimming, and they were communicating a ton up and down the field. So that's potentially going to be the difference here. So clear comes out from Andy, and Silent Hawk puts it back in. Keeping it pressure up, keeping the ball in, and keeping the ball in the back of the net as Silent Hawk nets his second goal of the game from a pretty far ways away there. Just, Honest Cosbys caught a bit out of position, and Silent Hawk got maybe just a tad bit lucky on that post.
Yeah, it's super easy to forget that Honest Cosbys actually went 1-0 up in this game and looked really dominant first 30 seconds, because NAFTA have really done well to turn the tide around, going down so quickly, and now they're 3-1 up in a commanding lead with 1:40 to go. Yeah,
and I mean that just says a lot toward their mental strength as well. to keep their head in this one as MJ Caboose puts it off the backboard and Andy looks to finish it but can't quite bring it down. Now we have Bonekin on the ball here, dribbling around midfield. Tries to pass it to Caboose, maybe. Not sure if that was on purpose or not, but Andy's going to be looking to get a touch across midfield. Can't quite get in the back to the net as it goes off the crossbar. War Turtle puts it back toward the middle and gets a weird pinch with Liquid Sight. But MJ Caboose has the reactions to keep it in. Andy can't quite get that under the bar as it bounces just high and wide.
Yeah, only one shot for Honest Cosbys so far. They're really going to have to improve their shot targeting because Andy had a really nice chance. As I say, like Andy had a really nice chance at the other end where he off the backboard where he could have dropped it down straight in. Instead, he dropped it to the side to the right, and NAFTA is showing exactly how it's done. 5 shots, 4 goals.
Yeah, and I mean that was the third from Silent Hawk as well. So he gets a hat trick in this one on 3 shots. So he's just been super precise. And you know, like I said in the pregame as well, with Park Dog sitting out on this one, someone was going to have to step up, and it looks like it's been Silent Hawk. As he's getting another chance here, he's going to win the 50-50 over Andy and look to center it now. Drops it. War Turtle gets it, but Bonekin gets a big clear. There's now only 30 seconds remaining, and NAFTA are going to need 3 goals, and there's potentially one, but a great save from War Turtle.
Great shot from Caboose.
Caboose is there to follow it up.
Yeah, this game has been really close, but the difference has been the finishing, and Caboose gets this one to make it 4-2, but it might be too little too late. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they needed was a goal every 10 seconds, and they got one there, but now they're going to need a couple of kickoff goals, I think, to fall their way, which is a lot to ask, as Liquid Sight is going to be getting a shot which potentially is going to go in, and Bonekin, with no boost after going for the kickoff, is going to end up not being able to quite get around that one.
And that is the risk when you put all offense on the line, is that you can easily just get scored on the other end, but you have to do it. You can't just sit back and let the time run out. You've got to go for the goal, and in Honest Cosby's case, this time it hasn't worked out.
Almost just off the post. Very similar to a Silent Hawk shot from earlier that ended up bouncing in, but it doesn't quite fall the way of Honest Cosby's in this one, and clock hits 0, down by 3 goals. There is absolutely nothing left to do other than go for one for the record, but doesn't happen. And NAFTA are going to come away with a 5-2 victory in this one.
That is 5-2. Yeah, 5 shots, 5 goals from NAFTA. That is 100% shooting. Actually, that is really impressive.
And actually, it's more than 100% shooting accuracy, as MJ Caboose also had a save. So, looks like they had a goal off something that wasn't a shot. So
probably that kickoff goal where it bounced off the underside of Andy's car, and Bonekin did his best attempt to save it, but just couldn't knock it out. That last goal there.
Yeah, but I mean, really, despite it being a 5-2 scoreline, shots were pretty even. It was 5-4 in favor of NAFTA. Saves were both 1 apiece. Each team had 2 assists, but somehow NAFTA came away 5-2 on goals.
I really think it's the finishing. Again, these teams are so even. It's going to be these slight little things that are going to determine the game. And I feel in this game it was the finishing. MJ Caboose pulling up with 2 goals there for his team, but his teammates had a host of chances which they could have buried, which NAFTA buried theirs, and that's the difference basically. We'll have to see whether this changes in this next game, or whether it stays to see who gets the better shooting percentage and who gets the most goals.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to. Not just about shooting, but about finishing. And speaking of finishing, it's going to be NAFTA looking to finish this series in the second game here, as War Turtle takes the first kickoff, and Liquid Sight is looking for some fast pressure. What a dunk!
Wow,
unbelievable! Liquid Sight
coming up strong here.
Oh my gosh!
Exactly what he can do.
I don't know about you guys, but I think that Liquid Sight might be my sleeper pick for this season for MVP. He's had some crazy goals and touches and stuff like that from a player who's definitely far from the highest ranking player on his team. As Silent Hawk's putting a bit of a clear off the backboard, somehow that doesn't go in.
Caboose had a really good chance there to just tap it in, but instead he knocks it to the side, and this is what I'm talking about. If Honest Cosbys don't take their chances like that, they're going to go down and they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, and there's Andy trying to put one on net, but it's going to be stuffed by Liquid Sight again. Man's all over the field, and now Bonekin's got a chance, and he buries it. Precision shooting on that one definitely comes through as he puts it in the upper 90 on the right side of the goal there. Nothing that either War Turtle or Liquid Sight could do about that one. That was a more or less perfect shot. And that's gonna draw us even. Less than 40 seconds into the game. And once again, it's a 1-1 tie.
And both players we've seen tonight wearing the Marquee Due to Hustle eyebrows have scored. So if you're into the playoffs and you're wanting a cheeky placebo, get those eyebrows on. You'll get some goals. Confirmed
top-tier item. So now Bonekin is going to get a really pretty unfortunate own goal there. That was he was not really in a position to make the save. Kind of want to be a bit on the goal line or maybe behind it, but he was a bit in front of it, and he kind of goes up and hits it backwards into his own net. So
just the positioning area there, he's really got to be behind the goal, and those ones, they're really dangerous when they come off the top corner of the ceiling like that, and they drop straight down on you. And before you know it, like if you touch it, it's just going to go in the back of your net if you're not positioned correctly.
Yeah, and there's immediately more pressure coming in from the NAFTA end. So, I mean, at this point, they're down 2-1 again, and an own goal like that can definitely hurt your mentality. So, we'll have to see if they can get their heads back in this game, as we do have a bit of pressure coming out here, but it's a big clear going the other way instead. And War Turtle and Liquid Sight are going to be looking to follow it up, but neither of them are really there, and the ball sort of, dribbles back out toward midfield.
Sight's been sent to space.
questionable attempt on the wall there from Liquid Sight. As ball rolls to midfield to Andy, puts it into the corner, and he's looking to put one into the center. Instead, he fakes it. Caboose gets a good shot on goal, but Silent Hawk was just there to stuff him and block it. Now it's going the other way. Oh, another dunk comes out. This time it's the other way. Bonekin on War Turtle. But ball's back in the end of Honest Cosbys here. NAFTA's looking to put one more on the board. They can't quite bring it down. Liquid Sight passes it to Silent Hawk, and he can't quite get it in. And now it's Andy looking to dribble it the other way. Gets past one, but can't get past the other two. Now it's back in the Honest Cosbys in again. You're going to have to be looking to get some long clears here, as there's one from Andy. Potential chance, but Liquid Sight denies him.
Yeah, we're seeing really repetitive play here. Honest Cosbys, every single time they get the clear, they're just hitting it straight towards Liquid Sight, who's ready to put it right back in there, and that's why you keep mentioning that the ball is just back in the Honest Cosbys end, because they're just not getting the correct clears and the correct touches in their defensive zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, kind of playing it a little bit differently, kind of mix up your opponents in a way.
Yeah.
But so kind of like you were saying in the other series too, they're just trying to get it out as quickly as they can, not really caring about controlling it, doing anything on the offensive end.
Yeah, NAFTA haven't really figured out though with their rotation system and the way that they always have one person there to put it back in, because they're expecting these teams to clear it out just like this, ready for someone to just put it back in.
And good chance
take all day.
Saw a good chance from Andy there as he managed to get behind all the defenders, but couldn't quite bring it down. And now it's still on the Honest Cosbys end. They get it back across here, and Bonekin's going to be putting it off the wall, but there's really no one there to follow it up. A bit of a soft touch, however, will give time for Andy to get on the ball. I'm not totally sure what happened. Yeah, there were a couple of players. All three of them committed to that one, and it kind of just fell to Andy.
We've seen this already, where one team has consistent pressure, but as soon as it comes to defending, they just collapse completely because they haven't defended in so long. That's the issue when you have lots of pressure on like that. You really have to make sure that you're prepared to defend as well, because as Honest Cosbys showed there, they just walked up after taking, nearly 2 minutes of pressure, sustained pressure from NAFTA, and they've scored their goal to tie the game up. You really have to focus both ends of the pitch, not just one of them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of those areas where communication is probably going to be the biggest decider, as Silent Hawk is going to get a chance here. Looks like Andy should be able to get the save, and he does.
Close one there.
Yeah, it was close, and here's another chance. It's going to be cleared aside by Caboose, and it looked like Bonekin there as well with a combined effort to get that ball out. Liquid Sight's putting it back toward midfield, but as we've seen in a lot of the other games so far, there's now been a bit of the score into pressure, and that's going to result in another goal here. Bonekin assisted by Andy on this one. It's going to be enough for a cycle for Andy, and Bonekin already had his, so that's 2 cycles on the Honest Cosby's end in this game.
Yep, a rare mistake from Liquid Sight there. Instead of making a big bounce clear, he rolls it along to Bonekin. He rolls it along to Bonekin, who has all the time in the world just to take his time and shoot it around the net. Andy goes for a crazy aerial there, getting ambitious, wanting another one, but they really need to watch out for NAFTA in case they come back, because there's only 1 goal lead. You really want to make sure your defense is strong, but if you're Honest Cosbys.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 15 seconds left, so you'd have to think that they're going to try for a bit more of defensive rotations. But we see Andy putting some high pressure on, and Silent Hawk is there to repay the favor from Bonekin earlier in the game, as he's going to put one into the back of his own net. So,
Silent Hawk with an actually insane shot.
That was actually
off the
really crazy.
Off the tip of his car, and somehow just barrels in behind him. A really impressive shot if he was on Honest Cosby's side, but
if that's not in the top 5 plays of the week, I don't know.
Get on it, Moffat.
That's gonna hit the ground there, and Honest Cosbys are gonna come away with the win in this one. So a 4-2 victory after losing 5-2. Definitely a bit more of a disparity, I think, in stats in this one. They outshot him 7-4. They outsaved him 3-2. They had more assists, and of course, they ended up with more goals in the end.
And the difference in this one was, despite NAFTA having that sustained pressure for about 2-3 minutes of the game, the majority of the game, Honest Cosbys were taking their chances when they had to. Andy and Bonekin really stepping up. Caboose was the one who stepped up in the first game for them, and Bonekin and Andy this time stepping up, making sure that they scored 4 goals to put themselves in the lead. Win the game. Yeah,
and I mean, it was kind of what you were talking about in the first one as well, with just finishing their chances.
Yeah,
you know, they had also,
only real quick before the string goes away. I'm sorry, Static would be disappointed if we didn't mention the bicycle on the Honest Cosby side from Bonekin, from Andy there.
Bonekin and Andy. Yep, indeed, and I guess also in the spirit of Static, Andy had a hangover in this one with 4 shots. So, just a pretty solid offensive performance from the both of them, Andy and Bonekin. And they'll be looking to carry it over into the deciding Game 3 of this one. We'll see who's going for the kickoff. It's going to be Silent Hawk and Andy with a cheat from Caboose and War Turtle.
This just in, boosted beat on the DL in 2 games.
Ooh.
This is going to be messed up.
Drama. This is going to be exciting for sure.
It's a spicy Game 3 here.
So that means that winner of this game will guaranteedly get the top seed, as Andy and Silent Hawk are going to be making out at midfield there. Turns into a chance here for Liquid Sight, but he can't quite get the ball under control, and Bonekin puts it back the other way, and then a dunk, and then a bump. And here's a big chance, but he can't quite get a touch on the wall.
Just face palms off the wall there.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of solid pressure there from them so far, but in terms of sustained pressure, I think it's less than in either of the previous games. Both teams really turning it up in this one, as here's a chance for Silent Hawk, and Andy gets a big clear. But last man back, Liquid Sight is there again to put it back in.
He's been so instrumental, honestly.
Here's
Liquid Sight.
Big chance for Silent Hawk, but he can't quite get power on it. Oh, War Turtle. Oh, man, he had the mind game there, but he could not quite turn it anywhere else. And Liquid Sight is going to put it in!
Yeah.
Wow.
And after War Turtle faked them out, is where we really need to see Honest Cosbys, be calm in defense and not panic. And instead, Andy just throws the ball off his own wall, pushing it right back out to the center. And there was Liquid Sight with a goal. That's what happens when you panic on defense. You really have to be calm and get those clears out to the side, or in a position where the opponents can't shoot on the net.
Yeah, it's important to have good defense as well as good offense, but kind of not seeing too much of either so far from Honest Cosbys. But I do think that they went down 1-0 in the last one and were able to bring it back. And is that gonna be an own goal? Unfortunately, it is. Looked like Silent Hawk there.
Is that the third own goal we've had now?
Yeah, and the second from Silent Hawk as well, as he just kind of, not really his fault, kind of a weird pinch between Andy and Liquid Sight on the wall, and it sort of just smacked him in the face and rolled into his own net. So Yeah, but, I mean, to his credit, I think that's Silent Hawk's 5th goal of the series. But 2 of them were on his own net, so not quite the dominating goal scoring you want. So it looks like another shot's going to be coming out here from Andy, but it's weak and there's no follow-up, so it should be a pretty easy clear here for Liquid Sight. Doesn't go for a touch in the air, so Andy puts it, kind of lobs it off the ceiling, gets it himself. Is he going to put it on net here? Not quite fast enough to get anything, but Demo comes out on War Turtle. Big chance here. Fakes out Liquid Sight, but it's going to be stopped along the wall by Silent Hawk, and War Turtle's there to get a really solid clear around Bonekin, who was waiting for it on the wall.
Things are really starting to heat up now. We're seeing the demos come out as both teams try and phase each other out. Andy with the demo on War Turtle in the corner, and at the other end, MJ Caboose gets demoed as well. Demos are a really important mechanic. If done right, they can lead to a goal. If done wrongly, they can lead to defensive
Is this going to be a
mistakes.
chance? Oh, what a
There we
shot.
go.
Silent Hawk makes up for it. Puts one in on the other end of the field. That was a pretty crazy angle, I think. Yeah, he just barely got there, and with the back of his foot, put it behind Andy and got there ahead of Bonekin, so it was just well played by him.
Yeah, the problem there for Honest Cosbys was that they didn't really have a third man back. Instead, they had 2 people who were on offense coming back to try and put the ball to the side while rotating back at the same time, which basically meant that they were pushing the ball towards their own half, which was only going to end in one way, which is a goal.
Yeah, indeed, and seeing some high pressure here in the corner as Honest Cosbys look to get one back. A Liquid Sight, eternally the last man back, is there to get the clear, and it may turn into a chance here, and Liquid Sight buries it. Silent Hawk as well gets a assist on the play.
I really think Liquid Sight has really just stepped up in these 2 games we've watched tonight. Honestly, he's been just the playmaker, the instrumental man for this NAFTA team. Even with the Park Dog out, he's just stepped up in this game. 2 goals, top of the leaderboard. Can they hold on? That's the question, though. Can Honest Cosbys come back and take not a surprising win, but take a win that will have big implications for the leaderboards?
Yeah, I mean, winner of this is first place in the going into the playoffs, so that's a pretty big deal.
Definitely.
And we're seeing some pressure here from Honest Cosbys as we're only a minute and a half left to go. 3-1 in favor of NAFTA in this one. Bonekin's looking to get a touch along the wall, but War Turtle's ready for it. Andy with a questionable clear is going to end up coming out on top in that one. Now he's dribbling it the other way down the field. Great touch to beat Liquid Sight there. Still in control, but he takes a touch along the wall and loses it to Silent Hawk. Weak ball there with no follow-up, but Bonekin gets a dunk, and MJ Caboose cannot quite finish it. Now a demo comes out from Bonekin on Silent Hawk just to keep some pressure up in the corner. Looks like maybe a bit of a miscommunication there as they let the ball fall to Silent Hawk, and now War Turtle's taking it the other way, but Bonekin, a big clear to keep that one out. Now he's looking to take it all the way to the other end for a shot. It's not quite going to fall. Pass to the middle to nobody, and Silent Hawk's happy to take that clear.
Yeah, some really awkward rotations here from Honest Cosby. It looks like the 3-1 lead for NAFTA is really getting to them as they have miscommunications in the middle and they have some really slow rotations, which is just leading to balls left in the middle with no one to challenge them.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of balls left in the middle, there's one that's left for Andy. He gets a big touch, but it's going to be turned aside to the corner. MJ Caboose looking to put it back in. There's 2 men for him in the midfield, but a huge demo from Liquid Sight. Once again, cannot say his name enough in this game as he's come up big everywhere. 4 seconds to go, down by 2, and it looks like even missing their best player, NAFTA are going to come away the victors in this series in a really good series. I'm really glad we watched it.
Yeah, it's Liquid Sight's world and we're all living in it. He stepped up massively this game, honestly. That last second demo there, and Andy, who was surely going to get a goal from that great pass to Caboose, just epitomizing how instrumental he's been for his team.
Yeah, it really was.